Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Agatha Christie's In England or None.
I should probably try and learn more about the General's untimely death.
So, last time we knew that the General died and we left off, after talking to everyone, 3 little sailor boys have now been broken off from the table. And here is the butler, which is our last, Rogers, our last person to question.
Where were you during the half hour in question?
Mostly in the kitchen, sir, preparing dinner. I also washed dishes, swept the patio, where I saw Miss Brent knitting. Quietly cleaned the game room so as not to disturb the doctor and the judge. Made the beds, and chopped some more firewood.
Very kind of you to give me your time, Mr. Rogers.
If I may sum up, we're trapped on this island at least till Monday morning. One of us is most certainly a homicidal maniac. None of us has a clear alibi for the time in which the General met his death. Have I forgotten anything?
Yes, it's storming again.
So, basically what I've done is I've taken off captions because for some reason...
I should take advantage of this quiet time to explore the house.
For some reason, when I went to check back on my last videos, which you may notice when you watch them, is that the captions weren't really matching up with the voices and, like, you know, the conversations. They weren't. They did look out of sync. Well, I don't know if they're out of sync or not. It was just doing that for some other reason. So what I've done, I've taken off captions, and we're going to go without it. So I do apologise about that. But if I put them on, which I can do, if we go into the menu, I can put on captions again. But it does look like they're not fitting up with the movement of the characters, which was apparent in the first episode or in the first video. Let's talk to Miss Brent.
Our Lord moves in far more mysterious ways than you can ever hope to uncover.
Perhaps, Miss Brent, but I'm still willing to have a go. Who do you think the killer is?
Very well. I'll humor you. Mr. Blore seems the most likely suspect.
Why?
He's already admitted he's checked up on all of us as part of his supposed job for Mr. Owen. People with secrets, especially those with secrets concerning possible murders, don't make their complicity common knowledge. It would take a man like Mr. Blore to ferret it out.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Forgive me, but I doubt he takes you very seriously. That leaves the judge as the biggest threat. Yes, if I were the killer, I'd go after the judge next.
Good evening to you, Miss Brent.
So everyone's a little bit nervous and probably now wanting to talk to you a little bit more.
I shouldn't do that. I need to have my wits about me. I shouldn't do that. I need to have my wits about me. I don't need to lug this around with me.
So we need to find everyone. I believe there's some people in here which we do need to go and do. Now, a lot of this may not be very obvious.
Candy, ice cream. The next feature will be beginning shortly.
Mr. Narracott!
We can't blame him for snooping about in the dark, Vera dear. I'm afraid it's in his nature.
Were you looking for us?
For you, certainly. And who do you think the killer is?
Wargrave. The recording called us prisoners at the bar. The whole plot smacks of a sense of criminal justice gone mad. From what Vera tells me, he let that Seaton chap swing just for the jollies. Wargrave's my bet. No doubt about it.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Well, if I were crass and selfish, come to think of it I am, I'd pick you. I don't much like you, Narracott.
Philip?
The swine has his sights on you, Vera, if you'd only see it. He doesn't deserve you.
Good evening, Mr. Lombard. Who do you think the killer is?
I'd feel uncomfortable answering that.
Please try. Our lives may depend on it.
I'm surprised you value my opinion so highly. But if I were to guess, I'd be forced to
Sort of
say
knocking on mic there,
Dr.
guys.
Armstrong.
Why?
Well, who else has the opportunity to cover his tracks so well? I, for one, can't dispute him if he says potassium cyanide has been used. And 2 of the 3 victims have been poisoned. Surely that points to a doctor.
Some might say to a woman.
Really?
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
Well, if I were Mr. Owen, I'd kill Philip.
Thank you so much.
He's obviously the most experienced at getting out of tight places. Wouldn't that make him the most dangerous to Mr. Owen?
A pleasure as always, Miss Clayton.
So, he is a bit of an arsehole when it comes to us. He doesn't like us. We're not going to look at the pictures on the wall because there really is no point.
Film is running, but nothing's being projected. Film is running, but nothing's being projected. Perhaps another time. That isn't going to help. It's locked fast. Locked. That isn't going to help. Those don't work together. There's a card and a film reel in here. This could use a closer
Another
look.
clue by Mr. UN Owen. A breath of fresh air is rare when buried in windowless rooms of scarcer elsewhere. I'm not quite sure what that reads.
There's a film reel and a handwritten note in here. This bears a closer
The
look.
second dress makes me look like a Harriet. A Hallot. Why can't we never reshoot?
I can't see anything of interest. That doesn't make sense. Interesting film. Can't make heads nor tails of it. Nothing else to see about that.
Let's have a look at...
This
Shut
is
up
neither
now,
the
Cop.
time nor the place. A Gabrielle Steele film? No thanks, I'd rather not watch that tripe. The film has been spooled. Looked like a home movie of some sort. The film has been spooled.
Oh, I've already seen this.
Interesting film. Can't make heads nor tails of it. That isn't going to help. A Gabrielle Steele film? No thanks, I'd rather not watch that tripe.
So, I think we need to get Hang on, there's a thing here.
It's Lombard's plan for building a parachute. I'll copy it into
Right,
my
I need to
notebook.
move the little thing up here again. To construct Lombard's parachute, I'm going to need silk sheets, got that. Various lengths of rope, haven't got that yet. Leather harness, haven't got that. 3 metal struts, haven't got that. And quite a bit of luck, not to mention a high ground to launch from. So let's back out of here. And we need to go and find the rest of the guests. We've spoken to Judge, so we don't need to talk to him. Now I'm probably going to make these videos not hugely long. Now I know the last one was quite long, but I haven't got very long this morning, so I'm going to do this session relatively short videos. Not terribly short, but probably about 15-20 minutes each. I think that's a good speed to a good length of video. It's just how I see it right now.
It's a marble sculpture.
Right, let's go and have a look on the thing here.
Dr. Armstrong.
What? What? I must say, I don't think much of this barging in on people when they are...
Ministering to the sick?
I don't find that amusing, sir. Not in the slightest.
Dr. Armstrong, if it will relieve your mind at all, I don't think there's anyone alive on this island who truly believes you are a teetotaler.
Somehow that doesn't relieve my mind one bit.
You protest too much, then eye the drinks tray as if it were manna from heaven. You sneak off to your room to freshen up every chance you get.
All right, Mr. Narracott, you've made your point. What do you want?
Who do you think is the killer?
Miss Brent. Knitting. Always knitting. Like Madame Defarge in A Tale of Two Cities. Madame Defarge knitted the names of those destined for the guillotine. Revenge, sir. It seems an apt analogy. Also, I don't much like Bible thumpers.
Have you any proof?
Proof, sir, is for the police. I have a doctor's instincts. My instinct tells me that anyone that self-righteous and repressed might easily turn to murder. What did she call Mrs. Rogers' death? An act of God. A woman like that could easily cast herself in the role of God's sword.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim might be?
No idea, but I assure you I plan to see it as not I.
Better lock your door then, Doctor. I walked right in. Could you help me sew these sheets together to make a parachute?
I'm a medical man, Narracott, not a seamstress.
You stitch up patients after surgery, don't you?
Yes, and it's very delicate work, which is why I'll not risk my hands on such a coarse endeavor.
Good evening, Doctor. Nothing out of order in here. I'd best not take anything, though. I'm sure he would notice. I'd best not take that. He might need it and would certainly.
So you can't take anything here. I don't actually know if you can actually make the full parachute. Yeah, anyway, I think you have to wait. So we're not going to go through room to room. We're going to go through the corridor, and we're going to just go round this way. We are going to check the balconies though as well. So we're going to go. Oh, right, that is his room. Okay, is this room next? To be honest, I'm quite looking forward to when Blore dies. I can't actually remember when he dies, but I know he. Obviously, we all know. We know that.
Another seabird. This one looks like an albatross.
So this is where Miss Brent apparently said that she heard something above her.
It would certainly be noticed if I rifled through his luggage. I better not. A hawk with a fish in its talons. The bird theme is starting to get to me. It would be incredibly improper for me to go through a lady's luggage. I won't do it. This is a fairly sparse makeup case. Vera isn't the type
We
to
need
use
to
much
find
makeup.
ourselves some sewing kits, and I think that you can get that from the servants' quarters, but I think we'll just check around here anyway, just to be sure we don't miss anything. No, it's not one of the deceased rooms.
This is quite a makeup supply. Emily must be more concerned with aging than she lets on.
Come here, Mr. Narracott. Don't be shy, it's only me.
Communing with the dead, Judge?
In a way, the law is much like necromancy. We delve, the dead give up their secrets.
What has General Mackenzie told you?
Notice the picture of his dear wife. Leslie, I believe he said her name was. The glass has been smashed, perhaps by the same blunt object that did for the General.
But why?
If we knew that, we might be further along in our inquiries, don't you think? If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say it has something to do with love. It's one of the prime motives, you know. Greed, revenge, and love. Love has killed as many as either of the other two.
Who do you think the killer is?
Lombard is a man used to killing. He freely admits it. It could be a classic double bluff, plead that he is guilty so that we assume his innocence. He's used to taking matters into his own hands. If he suddenly decided for whatever reason that 10 people had to die, I doubt he'd sit still for natural causes.
Any idea who Mr. Owen's next victim will be?
If I were you, Mr. Narracott, I'd watch my own back. Blore is all bluster. I'm past my prime. Armstrong is easily manipulated. Miss Brent's Bible provides all her answers. Miss Claythorne is like a deer caught in onrushing headlights, which is why I suppose you and Mr. Lombard find her so attractive.
You don't miss much, do you?
I miss nothing. And if it doesn't seem too egotistical of me, I can't help feeling that Mr. Owen knows that. Even intended this mystery for me. Why, I can't say, but he didn't count on you, my young friend. I'm hoping that together we may yet thwart him.
I've got a plan to get off the island. Can you help me build a parachute?
I'm not as strong as I once was, I'm afraid. Perhaps some of the others can assist you.
Thank you kindly, Judge. It appears to be a portrait of the General. Must be quite old. He's standing with a very young woman. It's signed, "To John, my husband, Leslie." There's nothing I can do for the victim now.
This is probably one of the only rooms that has a balcony.
Better to let the dead rest in peace. Nothing else to see about that.
I know you can put this on, but it doesn't let me do it yet.
Perhaps another time.
gone around all the rooms. So guys, I'm going to call that here, and next time we will move forward in our quest to find out who the killer is, and I'll see you then. So please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.